What is up, my viewers? Spang here, bringing you another World of Tanks gameplay commentary. This time it is a replay sent in by Dude, and it is in his T-34. Now, this is the Russian T-34, not the American T-34. Very, very different tanks. And it is an encounter battle on Malinovka, I think, if I recall correctly. Yes, okay. So, this map, I definitely prefer encounter battles on this map as opposed to assault matches on this map. I'm just gonna put that one out there. It is a fairly even match. The number of tier 5s is even now. One thing that is somewhat odd is the enemy team has a their Stug 3 on the the enemy's Stug 3 is platooned up with 2 tier 1 tanks, so kind of shafting his team just a little bit there. Now, Dude getting some easy shots on this T1, but really having a low damage gun, as you can tell. Not really hitting for more than over 100 here. I think its average damage is, what, 85? Wow. But 112 penetration, that will be enough to get through that T1 side armor. Taking more shots at that T1, who is almost dead here. He is... Yep, there we go. Nice and eliminated. The enemy losing one of their heavy movers right off the bat. Panzer 3-4 moving up that hill when he really doesn't have any support. He will get quickly overwhelmed if Dude's team continues to push that hill, because that 3-4 has very little support up there. Actually, he has virtually no support. Dude's team moving in, swarming, and it looks like that 3-4 is about to meet his demise. So, the enemy team having to make up for both their early tier 5 loss, as well as the fact that they are basically functioning with a handicap of 2 tier 1 tanks. Dude's team does, on the other hand, have some tier 3 and 2 tanks, but they also don't get saddled with any tier 1. I mean, it's definitely arguable that the enemy team could overcome it, but it's certainly not ideal. Now, this MS-1 moving to get on the capture point. I guess the tier 1 tanks decided that the best contribution they could give is to try and capture that Stug 3, the guy they were platooned with, also on the capture point, just rushing to their death, kind of. In an encounter battle, especially the encounter battle on Malinovka, where that capture point is blatantly out in the open, it is certainly not a good idea to just rush it right at the beginning of the match. It's just a very quick way to get yourself killed, especially if your team is not supporting it. Now, if your team is supporting it and you draw the enemy out and your team just lights them up, that's a different story. That's using strategy. If you just blitz it without any sort of coordination, that's just being stupid. So, Dude, up to 3 kills at this point. This AMX-40 probably going to meet his demise. There we go. It's a very bouncy tank, so it's a good chance he could have bounced. But as we saw, that was not the case. The KV-1 about to become another victim of Dude's T-34 little pea shooter here that just picks off little bits and pieces of your health. You know, killing you with mosquito bites, giving you malaria, and you die. So the enemy team, what remains of it, is on the enemy's side of the field. A very similar scenario to what you see in a normal battle, a standard battle on Malinovka. So it's really their last bastion of hope, but they are down by 6 tanks. The chances of them winning at this point are slim to none. Dude apparently suffering some lag there, or maybe that's just the game being a little glitchy. I'm holding steady at 30 frames per second. I am not sure quite what is causing that, but that little jerky movement is nothing to be too concerned about. So the enemy team, only 2 tier 5 tanks left. Dude at 5 kills, doing very solid for himself. A little better than I would have expected a T-34 to do, simply because I do not put a lot of stock in this tank. It is just a mover and shaker. It's a distraction. It's a little bit of a nuisance if it goes ignored like it is right now, as Dude is proving my point. But in general, in my tier 5 matches that I play, which these days tends to be the Churchill, or previously the Su-85, a T-34 didn't scare me. It really did not. It was not a tank that I was ever concerned about handling. But Dude showing just quite how effective really every tank can be, even ones I don't take all that seriously, and if played right. And I think that can be really said of any tank in the game. Every tank has a play style, and if you play it right, you typically can do pretty well in it. So up to 6 kills, getting himself a top gun. The enemy team just really ignoring him so much so that he really should have been dead at this point if they really prioritized him as more of a threat. And I think it goes back to that mentality I have of they don't really see the T-34 as a threat. So they're just basically letting him get this top gun. He basically described this match as too easy, and I'm going to have to agree. Just simply handing him those kills on a silver platter. Thank you, enemy team, for giving him a very nice top gun, a very nice match. He did send me some screenshots, so I'm going to go to those in just a second, and we can break this down in the post-game commentary. Alright, so here we go. We see exactly how well he did. He did get that top gun, which we already knew, which also gets him Mastery Badge First Class. So that means he is up there with the players. That was a good match, but it was not one of the outstanding matches that will get him Ace Tanker, unfortunately. Now, the other two awards are just that Master Gunner and Sharpshooter awards, which I don't really... Those medals are kind of, you know, something I don't put too much stock in. They're nice, but they don't really do anything for you. Now, switching to the other scene, now this is completely optional if you want to send in all of them, but you see he does do quite a bit of damage for a tier 5 match. That's very impressive. And he fired quite a bit of shots, obviously not accurate enough to get sniper, but he certainly was bringing that hurt to the enemy team. Made a good amount of profit, so all in all, a good match. I just gotta say, obviously you can tell how much better it would have been with Premium, but that always goes without saying. Premium helps you a lot. But anyway, if you like this video, click that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. And if you got a replay, send it to spanglereplays@gmail.com. Email is in the description. As always, this has been Spang, and I am signing off.